Story 1. Whispers in the Darkness. As the rain poured outside, I found solace in the warmth and comfort of my home. The soothing sound of droplets against the window pane provided a peaceful ambiance. With a book in hand, I settled into my favorite armchair, relishing the solitude of being alone. As the night deepened, an unsettling stillness settled upon the house. The only sound was the flickering of the fireplace, casting eerie shadows that danced upon the walls. I felt a chill creep up my spine, as if an unseen presence had entered the room. Unable to shake the unease, I turned up the volume on the television, desperate for distraction. But then, I heard it. The faintest whisper, like a gentle breath against my ear. I strained to listen, my heart pounding in my chest. The whisper grew louder, its words incomprehensible, carrying an air of malevolence. Fear gripped me as the voice seemed to emanate from within the walls themselves. Panic surged through my veins, and I realized I was not alone. Terrified, I fled from room to room, seeking refuge from the haunting presence. But no matter where I went, the whispers followed, growing louder and more menacing. Shadows twisted and contorted, mocking my feeble attempts to escape. In a final act of desperation, I barricaded myself in the study, hoping to find solace in the familiar surroundings. But as I huddled in the corner, the walls seemed to close in, pressing against me with an oppressive force. The whispers crescendoed into a cacophony of menacing voices, enveloping me in a suffocating embrace. Just as I thought I could bear it no longer, the whispers abruptly ceased. Silence settled over the house, broken only by my ragged breaths. I cautiously stepped out of the study, finding the house devoid of any paranormal presence. The experience left me scarred, forever haunted by the memory of those malevolent whispers in the darkness. Story 2. The Mirror's Reflection. Alone in my apartment, I reveled in the solitude that nightfall brought. The dimly lit room provided a haven of peace, and I relished the opportunity to unwind after a long day. Little did I know, the tranquil atmosphere was about to be shattered by a chilling encounter. As I passed by the hallway mirror, I caught a glimpse of movement from the corner of my eye. I turned back, peering into the glass, only to find my own reflection staring back at me. But something was wrong. My reflection's expression twisted into a malevolent grin, its eyes filled with malice. Startled, I stumbled backward, my heart racing in my chest. I tried to convince myself it was a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination, but deep down, I knew something was terribly amiss. Night after night, the sinister reflection haunted me. Its presence grew stronger, its intentions darker. I could feel its gaze upon me, even when I turned away. Sleep eluded me as nightmares invaded my mind, mirroring the grotesque visage that haunted the mirror. One fateful evening, driven by desperation, I decided to confront the malevolent presence. Armed with a sage bundle and a heart full of trepidation, I stood before the mirror, determined to break its hold on me. As the sage smoke filled the room, an otherworldly force manifested, shattering the glass. In a frenzy, I watched as shards of the mirror cascaded to the floor, releasing a cloud of darkness. With a final burst of energy, the sinister reflection dissipated, leaving behind a shattered, empty frame. Exhausted but relieved, I surveyed the wreckage. The apartment felt lighter, as if the weight of the supernatural presence had finally lifted. The mirror, once a portal to a twisted realm, now lay broken and vanquished. But as I cleaned up the shattered glass, I couldn't help but wonder, had I truly banished the malevolent entity? Or did its dark essence linger, waiting for an opportune moment to return? Story 3. The Unseen Houseguest. In the solitude of my cozy cottage, I reveled in the simple joy of being alone. As night settled in, the crackling fire cast dancing shadows upon the walls, creating a comforting ambiance. Little did I know that an uninvited guest would soon disrupt my peaceful haven. It began with subtle signs. A misplaced item, an unfamiliar scent lingering in the air. At first, I dismissed them as mere forgetfulness or the work of my imagination. But as the days wore on, the evidence of a presence became impossible to ignore. Late at night, I would hear faint footsteps echoing through the house. I would find objects moved from their original places, as if someone had been there in my absence. A cold draft would sweep through the rooms, chilling me to the bone. Fear gnawed at my insides, my mind racing with questions. Who was this unseen houseguest? What did they want from me? The answers remained elusive, hidden in the shadows of my once serene abode. Driven by curiosity and a tinge of desperation, I embarked on a mission to uncover the truth. I set up surveillance cameras, hoping to capture a glimpse of the mysterious visitor. Night after night, I anxiously reviewed the footage, searching for any signs of the intruder. And then one fateful evening, I found it. A fleeting figure, almost transparent, moving through the rooms with an ethereal grace. I watched in awe as the apparition interacted with my belongings, leaving behind an otherworldly energy. With trepidation, I reached out, attempting to communicate with the unseen houseguest. In the stillness of the night, I whispered questions, seeking answers from the other side. But the responses were enigmatic, veiled in cryptic whispers that sent chills down my spine. As the days turned into weeks, I found solace in the knowledge that I shared my home with a spirit from beyond. Rather than fear, a sense of companionship settled upon me. The unseen houseguest became a part of my world, an enigmatic presence that defied explanation. Though the questions remained unanswered, and the nature of our connection remained a mystery, I found comfort in the knowledge that I was never truly alone in my quaint cottage. Story 4. The Phantom Phone Calls. Alone in my apartment, the silence enveloped me like a thick fog. The distant hum of the city outside seemed worlds away as I retreated into the solitude of my own thoughts. Little did I know that my sanctuary would be invaded by a series of phantom phone calls that would leave me questioning my sanity. It started innocently enough, a ringing phone, a number displayed on the caller ID that I didn't recognize. I hesitated, contemplating whether to answer, but curiosity got the better of me. With a nervous breath, I lifted the receiver and brought it to my ear. Silence greeted me from the other end, an unnerving void that sent a shiver down my spine. I cleared my throat and tentatively spoke, but no response came. Bewildered, I hung up, dismissing it as a wrong number or a glitch in the system. But the calls persisted, night after night, each time with no voice on the other end. The ringing became an ominous soundtrack to my solitude, a constant reminder of an unseen presence lurking in the shadows. I grew increasingly paranoid, my mind playing tricks on me with each silent call. Desperate for answers, I contacted my phone service provider, hoping they could shed light on the mysterious calls. But their investigation yielded no results. The calls appeared to originate from non-existent numbers, leaving me with more questions than answers. As the phantom calls continued, a sense of dread permeated my every interaction with the telephone. The device became a conduit for the unknown, a portal through which an unseen entity toyed with my sanity. One evening, fueled by frustration and a touch of bravery, I decided to confront the mysterious caller. I picked up the phone, fully prepared to demand an explanation. But this time, when I spoke, a chilling response awaited me. A voice, faint and distorted, whispered my name. Cold sweat trickled down my brow as I listened, frozen in fear. The voice spoke in riddles, cryptic messages that sent chills down my spine. It knew things about me, secrets I had never shared, instilling a sense of vulnerability that was both unsettling and deeply unsettling. Unable to bear the torment any longer, I disconnected the phone, severing the line that connected me to the phantom caller. Silence settled over my apartment, a heavy blanket of relief, but the scars of those eerie encounters remained etched into my psyche, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved.